partner, Detective Banner. What are we looking at, boys?
73-year-old female named Dolores Benson. Lives alone. 2 gunshot wounds, 1 in shoulder and 1 in the forehead. Signs of forced entry at the back window.
Any witnesses?
1 witness, a young neighbor who claims to have seen the suspect. We sent her to the station.
Great. We'll circle back after we finish up here.
Yo, Detective Bam Bam, get a load of this.
What am I looking at, Star Trek?
Something look wrong here to you, Banana? The glass is shattered on the outside, which means it was broken from the inside.
So she let the killer in.
This blood spatter is high velocity. Look, Detective Stanky. It's all small and messy.
So the shooter was close up.
Look, her checkbook's out of the microwave. Let's dust it for prints.
A fingerprint! Jinkies! Look! Spit by the victim.
Let's take it back to the station and test it for DNA.
So, tell us what you know.
So a man, broke in and tried to kill me when he saw me looking through my window.
So the man who tried to kill you, what did he look like?
He was so hot, it was crazy.
Okay, but what did he look like?
Where should I start? He was tall, maybe 6'3", 6'4", absolutely just jacked. But not scary bodybuilder jack, he still had a soft touch. You could totally fall asleep in his arms.
Okay, but what did his face look like?
Well, you know Brad Pitt?
Yeah.
Forget Brad Pitt. This guy was hotter.
Hotter than Brad Pitt?
Hotter than Bradley Joseph Pitt.
That's crazy!
Honestly, I would pay money to gaze into those eyes again.
Even after he tried to kill you?
I wish he'd stabbed me to death and took his time doing it just so the last thing I saw were those ocean blue eyes.
Alright, I'm getting a little hot just off of your description, so I can only imagine what it felt like to be there.
Insane.
Okay, well I think we've got all we need here. You can go now. Thank you. Stanky, you can come in now.
There's only one person that we know who's hotter than Bradley Joseph Pitt. You thinking what I'm thinking?
Jonathan Johnson Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
You go cuff the guy, and I'll go get the evidence. So, Dr. Fitzsimmons, what did you find?
Let me show you, Detective.
So we analyzed the spit you gave us through DNA analysis called gel electrophoresis, which is a technique used to separate DNA fragments according to their size. DNA samples are loaded into wells at one end of the gel, and electric current is applied to pull them through the gel. DNA fragments are negatively charged, so they move towards the positive electrode. Here we see the sample from the crime scene matches the DNA of our suspect. We ran the fingerprint through the integrated automated fingerprint identification system, and we found a match to your suspect. Only 5% of the population has arches like this, and here we see a bifurcation, a bridge, an enclosure, and a hook. All of these tell us that this fingerprint could only belong to Johnny Johnson. Now take a look at this. I was able to recover a check from the bank that Miss Dolores Benson goes to from a year ago, and then one from just a few weeks ago. Here we can see the differences in her signature, the way the D connects up here but not down here, and the way her B connects, but here there's an open space. Here we can clearly see that this O was trying to be traced, and the S also has some stops in it, like it was not smooth like the way Miss Benson does. And we also see at the end of the N here, this one just goes off, but this one circles back through the signature. Clearly, this check is a forgery. Detective?
I can't find my glasses. Oh, jeepers. Oh. All right, now time to get a confession.
So Jonathan John Johnson, let me tell you a story. You were making some extra cash, mowing Miss Benson's lawn.
She's old. She can't do it herself. And then you realized she was giving you checks. And you could add a couple extra zeros to the ends of those checks.
But then that power went to your head. You thought, why stop there? Why not forge entire checks?
You know where she kept her checkbook.
But she knew what you were doing. And then one day she confronted you. Was going to report you to the police for what you were doing to her. So you panicked and you pulled out your gun, shot her once between the shoulders. Didn't silence her. So she stumbled back and you had to shoot her again, right between the eyes, murdering her in cold blood.
So you fled the scene after smashing a window to throw us off and believe there was an intruder. Miss Benson's neighbor saw you peering through the window, so you tried to kill her too. You were out of bullets, so you hit her over the head with your gun and ran.
Little did you know you left forensic evidence at the scene. No one can get away that clean with a crime. Isn't that right, Jonathan J. Johnny Johnson James John?
Yes!
Case closed using forensic science.
Zoinks,
Jeez,
gang!
Should we just- we learned all this through the Mystery Gang and Mr. Code. We'll just keep this ending. With a crime. Isn't that right, Jonathan J. Johnny Johnson James John
Jimmy John Johnson, isn't that right? God damn it, Johnson! Jenny Jing John Johnson.
Jimmy John James John James.
Jonathan Jimmy.
Why do I only know
James.
the word name James?
Joshua Jimmy.
Here we go. We could have gotten some Josh in here. Jose,
Yeah.
if we were feeling creative.
Right.